This is Josh Friedman behind the camera at Bilderberg 2016. I am speaking with top Bilderberg correspondent Dan Dicks of Press for Truth. How you doing, Dan?
Doing very well, thank you. Well, I would be better if I wasn't getting so harassed and intimidated by the Gestapo here in the last 2 days.
So you seem to be a very popular man here and popular among the police. Tell me, what have they been doing to you here?
Well, you know, I noticed that they all had me pegged and have me marked and have my name on a list, apparently, because yesterday when I was at the airport trying to document some of the Bilderberg delegates pulling in, a number of police officers approached me saying, hey, you're Dan Dicks, we need to see your passport. And they immediately came up, took my ID, and then they told me, we've been instructed that anytime we see you, we're going to have to ask you for ID because you are here to cause trouble. I said, I'm not here to cause trouble. I've never caused any trouble at any of these things. And then they said, if you ever publish any of this stuff, we're going to sue you. And, you know, let's take this back to two or 3 days ago when I first arrived. 3 of these police officers came right into my hotel room, demanding to see my passport.
Did they have a warrant? Did they cite a law?
No, absolutely not. The guy was just like, you, up here now. We asked him to stay at the door of the hotel room, and they just came in. They searched through my friend Jeff Berwick's computer. They looked at his computer, and they interrogated us and harassed us there for a good 45 minutes inside my hotel room. So we're going to file an official complaint against that officer who did do that to us. But now we're completely being watched, and anytime, I mean, I was just over there 10 minutes ago, and I got within, 10 feet of the police, and I can hear them saying my name. Hey, Dan Dicks, that's Dan Dicks over there. So they've been instructed to keep an eye on me, unfortunately, but I won't let that stop me.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's because this is my 10th year of covering the Bilderberg conference, and they know what I'm here to do. I'm here to expose this for what it is, and they have been instructed to try to keep this as secret and private and off the record as possible. So someone like me is a threat to the organization, and these guys are protecting the organization, therefore I'm the target. And really all I'm doing is documenting who's attending here. This is something that I think the press should be doing. I'm really just doing the job that the mainstream media has completely failed to do.
How is that such a threat? The fact that you come here, you stand outside with a camera, what are you doing that could cause problems for them?
Good question. This really points to the fact that it reiterates the fact that these guys want to operate in the shadows, and they do not like to be exposed. And because what else would you have to hide? This is why they don't print the minutes of the meetings. We never know what they're talking about in there, and we're only ever left to kind of speculate about what could be on the agenda. I mean, now they publish the agendas. In fact, the only reason why the current Bilderberg website exists is because we have been forcing them to almost become to hide in plain sight. We forced it upon them to say, look, we have nothing to hide. See, here's our agenda. And then they post some very vague agenda topics like current events or China, very vague topics. We forced that upon them to come out into the open. And so that's why it's important for guys like you and us and to continue to come out here and document this despite the fact that these guys are trying to shut us down.
What do you think they're actually discussing in there? What are they really up to?
Well, we know that they're discussing foreign policy. We certainly know they're not talking about golf in there. These are billionaires who are taking 3 days out of their lives. If it's not going to benefit them in some sort of way, they're not going to leave their businesses to come in here. So let's look at what they're talking about on the agenda. Number 1, current events. Number 2, China. They had cybersecurity and technological innovation on there. The Middle East was a topic. Now, some might think that if the Middle East is a topic, they're probably going to be talking about maybe how to invade Syria or how to get into Iran. I happen to think that because of this limited hangout that was the missing 28 pages of the 9/11 investigation report, they are going to be discussing how to pin the blame on Saudi Arabia, the 9/11 attacks on Saudi Arabia. I think that's some of the things they're talking about in there. They also said they're going to talk about what's called the precariat class. This is a new class of people who don't have job security, who live paycheck to paycheck. It's not like the Industrial Revolution where you got one job, you worked at it for 40 years. There's a whole new society of people who don't have this job security. And when the dollar crashes, when everything comes crashing down, they are going to discuss how to deal with these people. They're going to need some sort of assistance, and they are going to suggest to the invitees that global government is the answer. That's what they talk about in here. This is what they try to convince the people who they invite, that global government is the answer. We will be the answer to all of these people's problems.
So to you, the end game with Bilderberg is global government.
Yeah, the end game to Bilderberg is global government. One of the hugest steps they've taken towards that, admittedly, is the formation of the European Union. Etan Davignon, one of the co-founders of the Bilderberg Group, openly admitted that they were responsible for the formation of the European Union. We're talking about hundreds of countries.
When you say they, you mean they, the Bilderberg Group? Are
Yes, the Bilderberg Group steering committee are responsible for the formation of this, the whole concept of forming a European Union and joining all the countries together. That was one major step in their plan since 1954 to formulate a one world global government. The EU was a huge step in that direction that they caused.
Are they ever going to open up to the press and to the public? Or is it just going to be us journalists interviewing each other on the outside?
I don't think they will ever open it up, but it's silly not to. They really ought to be a little bit more transparent about it and allow the press to come in just to get rid of the stigma and to end the conspiracy theories. And then why not have your private discussions somewhere else? You know, it would be in their better interest to do something like that. So no, I don't think we're ever going to be able to hear from a press perspective about what's going on inside of there, because they own the press.
All right, thanks a lot, and tell the officers I say hi.
I will. Thank you.